This episode of 86 That is brought to you by Nanami Sushi Bar and Grill. If you're looking for the freshest sushi and authentic Japanese flavors just up the road in Austin, Nanami is a spot for you. From classic rolls to chef specials, it's perfect for a night out, date night, or just treating yourself. They're family owned, passionate about quality, and we're proud to have them supporting the show. So, next time you're craving sushi, head to Nanami Sushi Bar and Grill. Check out their menu at nanamisushi.com and tell them that 86 That sent you. Once again, thank you to Nanami Sushi Bar and Grill for sponsoring this episode.
Andrew, you're in New York.
I'm in New York. Went to an Italian restaurant for lunch. It was great.
Wow.
You've already had lunch?
Romantic getaway, little
It was a
romantic
romantic getaway with me and Mulder.
Have you seen any rats in there yet? No.
No, I haven't seen any rats. Just a naked guy. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Now, Andrew, is your camera is your camera up towards the ceiling so that we can't see that you only had a one-bed hotel room?
Welcome to the 86 That podcast, where 5 college filmmakers sit down with a special guest each episode. Directors, writers, producers, actors, and other creatives shaping the industry to talk movies, the creative process, and the ups and downs of making their work. Follow us on Instagram at 86 That podcast for episode highlights, exclusive bonus clips, and even chances to ask questions to future guests. We appreciate you tuning in, and we hope you enjoy.
Mr. Holt Boggs.
Hello.
What's going on? What's up? What's up?
Hey.
Hello.
My dudes.
How's it going?
Very nice to see you.
I think good. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I haven't started drinking yet, so everything's pretty solid.
Today we have a very special guest. He is a writer, director, and actor who has been in multiple films and shows like 1923, In Space with Markiplier, and The Ego Death of Queen Cecilia, which is about to wrap up its festival run, actually. And he's also in Crazy, which is his own film that he wrote, directed, and acted in. And I'm very happy to introduce here Holt Boggs.
Yes, so come on,
Hey,
Holt.
party time. What's going on? What's going on?
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me.
And I want to start because I see the poster behind you on the wall. Your short, Crazy. Crazy was your first and only short that you've directed, correct?
Yeah, I didn't want to direct. I was as an actor, the worst part about being an actor is you realize you're such a small piece of the puzzle for the final product. And I really love story. And I really love like the final product. And there's so many times I've been in like shit burger movies or just turd sandwiches. Like I'm in the worst movie ever made. Like I really am. It's the worst movie ever made, and will totally change the perception about me if you ever see it. It's fucking horrible. So I'm like, yeah, I should direct something, and I wanted to find something for Brian Villalobos and I, who's also in Crazy. And so I said, yeah, and I'd written some other shorts, but just never thought about directing. I did another one that I wrote but didn't direct, and regretted it because there was a lot of shit left on the table that I thought would have made it like awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so Crazy, to answer your question in a very long way, is the first thing I directed.
So it was that, you don't have to name the movie, but it was that specific movie that you're like, that's garbage. I want to direct something after being in that project. Was it that project specifically?
Well, it was an accumulation of things. Well, lots of times I would be on set working with inept filmmakers, like people that just, I thought, like, I don't mean this in a bad way, but like, I've worked on TV studio stuff, great. And I've also worked like with some indie people, and I'm like, guys, you guys crossing the line? Is that an issue? Like where I'm thinking in terms that I don't want to be, or I'll see them trying to work out how to fix a problem. And I want to go, and my natural inclination is go, all right, guys, I'm sorry, not my place. Here you go. Put the camera here. What you should do is you push them slowly. Then what you can do is you're going to cut to the out. And so I could tell that I had a natural inclination towards that kind of a thing. But I didn't want to do it because I was afraid of sucking really, really bad. And so Crazy kind of happened out of like just necessity. And then Mark kind of forced the issue, and well, then I directed something.
What like sparked the idea for that? Because the twist is that's
exactly
the ending. The ending is so funny. Like it is so great. It's like such
cool.
a like unique perspective. So I like, what sparked that idea?
A couple things. One, because it was my first time directing. And you guys, I'm sure you guys have all heard the adage, like, just go fucking make something. Like, and just accept it's going to suck, but you learn something from it. Like, just take your friends out and just go shoot something. And I'm like, but I don't want it to suck. What if I? Because I've also worked with a lot of filmmakers, and this drives me nuts. And I know you guys know people like this, where they think they've made Citizen Kane, and you're like, yeah, you already know where this is going, and you watch it and you're going, it's not. It's watchable. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, who slept with who to get in this festival? Like, that's the thing. But they think they're great. And I was afraid I was going to be that dude. Like, so what'd you think about the movie? You're talking about dicks, huh? That's pretty cool. It's edgy. Wanted something technically simple because it was my first time shooting it. So I wanted something that didn't take a lot of like moving parts. A film that really inspired me is the short film for Thunder Road. If you guys have seen that, thank you. But one Sundance, it's one shot, one main character. It's fucking brilliant. And so I'm like, cool. Like, there doesn't need to be a lot of like moving parts or a lot of zooming, dolly movements, up at the jib. So that really inspired me. And then, like, watching the movie Heat, the scene in the diner. I hope you guys all seen that.
Oh yeah.
This scene in the diner is what inspired the idea behind it. But it wasn't just the scene in the diner. If you look at that, they never ever cut to a wide. I did, but they never cut to a wide. They don't introduce them walking in. They don't follow the waitress as she comes and laid something on the table and pulls back. It's just they're outside. You want to go in and get a drink or something. And then it cuts to them and it's just singles the whole time. And so I thought, okay, that's technically simple. But one thing I think that I'm good at as a writer is dialogue. One thing I like doing is taking like tropes that we're all very familiar with and just twisting it. You know what I mean? Like fucking it up with a little bit. And so the idea of like watching the diner scene in Heat, like muting it and just having them come up with like ridiculous conversation, but same kind of intensity, I just made me laugh. I got to have a button here. Like, what's the thing? I'm like, oh, they're fucking crazy. That's the title. Basically, I wanted to create something super simple that I couldn't fuck up, focus on my strengths, and and go from there.
I think you did exactly that too.
Yeah. Well, and that
Thanks,
simplicity, is what really stuck out to me, because I've been trying. My goal as a writer is to write something that simple, but is also that engaging and interesting. And Crazy does those things very well.
Yeah, low budget, high concept.
It's low budget, high concept, and it's simple and it's dialogue based, but it's engaging the whole time because it was so simple. How do you think you were able to manage keeping the interest, like the dramatic interest of the thing moving along without losing the audience?
No, that's a great question. No one's ever asked me that question, and I love that question. One thing that is super important for me, I think good dialogue has a rhythm to it. And if you look at the rhythm of, let's say,
Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, but if you look at the rhythm, let's say, of the scene in Heat, allowing the beats to breathe. It's done, boom. Like, then what's done? Like, I always want the audience to kind of like wonder what's going on. So that creates a cognitive attention there. Yeah, I think it's safe to say you'll no longer be bothered by Mr. Conan O'Brien.
That was my favorite line.
Yeah.
Thank you. A lot of really good lines though, bro. Seriously. No, but and then it's not like a random character named Conan O'Brien. I'm not talking about the talk show, but then if you notice when he comes to me, I know who he was, and there's some quick back and forth and stop, and then let some beats breathe. So I think I watched the movie the other day, and I think dialogue is, and it was just a lot of this, a lot of this, and a lot of this, and a lot of this. And I think the audience will tune out to that pace after a while, or any pace. You know what I mean? If it's too slow. So I think it's important to find your moments where there's energy.
I think that's actually really helpful for me because I'm writing a short that's basically just dialogue based. So thank you for that, because that gives me a lot of things to think about. My question goes back to something a little bit that you mentioned with this cinematography, because I'm working to be a cinematographer. That's my goal. And I'm kind of curious, because you've worked as an actor and you seem to, based on what you said there, you seem to know about cinematography, and you made it short, so you know about cinematography. So I'm curious what your relationship is, mostly as an actor, with a cinematographer. Obviously, you've made stuff now working more closely with the cinematographer, but I'm interested in what an actor relationship is with the cinematographer, because I haven't heard much about that.
Yeah, for me, and it's not something you know, first film I shot ever, Prodigy, Mark Rutledge, who's an amazing cinematographer. He and I were buddies long beforehand, but and that was for me. The Prodigy was a film school for me. It was 13 weeks. First movie I'd ever done. I was a lead in it. I didn't know what I was doing. I was trying to like fake it till I made it kind of a thing. But just me learning what my framing is with the cinematographer, and most of the time too, I think I care more than a lot of actors about, like, they don't know what the lens is, that and the other. It's just like there's certain technical aspects of acting to where like I need to make sure that I go and I'm in my light when I say this line, or that I'm cheating the camera a little bit, or so forth and so on. But oftentimes I will have just quick dialogue with the cinematographer from a distance, because he's got a lot of work to do, and I really should be just doing my job and not fucking with him. More than anything, I want to create a slight dialogue with the DP or the cinematographer to let them know that we can, because lots of times people go, hey, can you have him go do this? I'm like, or you could just tell me to do this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but also too, like sometimes the director is like, hey, that's my job, kind of a situation. But I want all the creatives to know, like, I'm open, talk to me. Like, do I need to, but what's the, sometimes I want to know like the depth of field, like how much room I have to move.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's super important, because if I'm doing an animated character and you've got a shallow depth of field, and I'm like, hey, man, boom, and you're like, oh my God, I'm going great. It's just wanting to know the thing of a conversation with me, and hey, Holt, can you try to find that light? Because I want them to feel comfortable, because a lot of people don't feel comfortable with it. You know what I mean? And I want the cinematographer to be comfortable to go, hey man, what will really hit if you can go and, find that when you lean in, see that beam of light that's coming in. If you can find a way to make that work, but more than anything is just establishing a relationship. We're all just making puzzle pieces for the director and the editor, knowing that you can communicate if you need to adjust me, and it's frustrating for an actor. Like, hey, can you take one step forward? Okay, one step back, a little bit more forward, just split the difference. Can act natural. Oh, you have a very shallow depth of field, so like don't move much. All right, and action. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But that's just part of the deal, though. Like, you have the talent or the skill that you learn with film acting, I think. So,
being that you've recently acted in projects like Ego, Death of Queen Cecilia, and now you're day playing on Apple TV's show Brothers, I've met some actors who thrive and find that fulfillment working in that studio space on these bigger, more commercial projects, where they're maybe like number 8 or 9 on the call sheet. And then I've met some actors who love and find that fulfillment working more on these low budget indie sets. And seeing that you have 84 IMDb acting credits and have explored these different environments, what kind of project or scope of project do you find is most fulfilling to you as an actor?
That is a loaded question. Well, the thing is, the TV work is cool because it's bright and shiny, and and everybody can see it. You know what I mean? It's coming out in 1923. It's coming out on such and such. Mm-hmm. That's all great fun and Eddie. I truly love you. So, but at the same time, I'm further down on the call sheet, so it's a nice paycheck. The residuals are great. But fulfillment wise, definitely indie stuff for the most part. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I've been in some shitburger movies, and what I care most about is the final product more than anything. I do miss when I was younger and I was naive and money didn't matter and I didn't have all these fucking kids and like I could just, but then, also too, like my manager and stuff now is like, oh, is this a good move for us? I'm like, I just want to fucking do it. Like I love the script, love the idea. Let's just fucking do it. Mm-hmm. And, I've gotten to play much more interesting work and characters in indie stuff, and then there's Queen Cecilia. Like, I hate that I met you there, John, on set because I fucking hated the shoot. I thought the guys were total dicks. I thought that the movie was going to suck. Like, and then you're like, oh, my name's John. I'm like, hey, what's going on, John? Why don't you go? How about that? But like, I love my work on the film, and you know what I mean? And the fact that I've cut out like stuff from on my reel is that it's not Sons of Anarchy stuff where, mm-hmm. Also too, but in TV, I play a lot of cops and soldiers. Like
I saw that
attorney stuff, but it's all very, I don't mean this in a bad way, but I play a puzzle piece, a very, and I fall into an archetype of the doctor, the soldier. Yeah. So it's it's not super interesting. It's how's it going, guys? I'm the doctor here. Are you the parents? You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, I saw you on such and such show. I'm like, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I paid well. You know what I mean? So
Those are nice,
that
but
makes
you strive to do more indie character,
Like character
deep
work.
thought character
Yeah.
work in indie projects.
yeah, or get to the point where I'm working,
or working those bigger
yeah, with
movies.
like, hey, PTA,
With-
call me. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
let's go, Fincher. Like, what's going on? Like, working in a space where creative stories are told. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
if you guys seen One Battle, and if you everybody seen One Battle after another,
Oh yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
good,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'd lose my mind. But yeah, like that's indie for me. You know what I mean? That's I don't care what the budget was. It's
Yeah.
it was well done, interesting quality work. You know what I mean?
hmm
Mhm.
I'm a film snob. There's stuff you do for a paycheck, and there's stuff you do because you're like creatively driven by it. And I prefer the latter.
Going off that, are you planning on doing another personal project like Crazy in the future?
I am.
I was gonna say, I just remember like when we went to a screening of Queen Cecilia, you mentioned like you pitched the fact that you were planning on filming, like was it a feature or something? I think you.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's
how do you say it? How do you say it? Is it ass and ass?
it's
Is that, I, don't- I,
Ass.
don't- yeah.
yeah. You see the logo with the bullet and everything, isn't that
Yeah.
clever?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is awesome.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that question. He was
Yeah.
he had the,
listener, it's a play on word of assassin. But
Yeah.
It's ass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not a porno. I never saw Crazy as a feature. I didn't write it to be like oh, this is a calling card, and let's see what happens next. And Mark, my EP, he's like, anything you want to do, just let me know, and we'll do it. Which is like an embarrassment of riches for a filmmaker. Yeah, I remember sitting at a Starbucks and like pitching him, and he's just like, blah 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 blah. We just needed the feature for Crazy. I'm like, you already the aha moment that we've already shown. Like, I see dead people. That's like doing that in the first 6 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, where do we go? You know what I mean? Like, what do we? And he threw out some ideas, and I didn't take any of them, but it got my brain thinking because he just kept, and then I went to, like, I was going through this moment. I went to go see, he was working on the show, this film Iron Lung, and I went to go see him. I'm in my 50s. Maybe I become a YouTuber. Like, you see me doing pretty well with it, and I've seen your stuff. You're just playing video games. I can play video games. And then he's like, he goes, no, fuck that. You're a filmmaker. Let's make the movies. And so I started pitching these other ideas. And he's like, he just kept pushing for the feature.
So real quick, sorry, sidebar for the listener. Holt is referencing Mark as the YouTuber Markiplier. Just so, okay, you continue.
Just
Sorry.
so everyone-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Markiplier. Sorry. I didn't know what a Markiplier was when I first met him. I worked with him. My
What
kids
is
thought
a
I was an
Markiplier?
idiot. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I Googled it. I assumed it was a dude,
Markiplier.
Yeah.
right? I Googled it because I had a job with him. But anyway, and I was like, what the fuck is this? My kids thought I was stupid. But yeah, he just kept pushing for it. And then so I was like, okay, which is really daunting. The script, I've written several features, but this is by far the hardest one that I'm writing. And
Where are you at with it? Have you?
I've gotten a couple drafts. With the tone of it for me is very locking that in. I've seen shorts that I thought were brilliant. They were turned into features that I thought were average to sucky.
Mhm.
And what's super important to me is that I keep audiences engaged and always wondering and trying to figure out what's going on. They break out of the hospital, and Monty, Brian's character, has been framed, or he thinks he's been framed for a murder that he didn't commit. He thinks he's been set up by the CIA. He thinks it's been Jason Bourne because he also has amnesia. So just a little bit part of it, but
Wow.
it's still entertaining enough. Like, it's fun. Like, is this Jason? Is this the Bourne Identity meets Dumb and Dumber, or are they? You know what I mean? It's just it's trying to lock that in.
When I met you the first time, you were like, I had never met you in person, and then you were like this amazing guy, and then you also had an astounding performance in Queen Cecilia.
Oh, thanks, man.
And I had seen your short by then. I'd seen Crazy. I think literally unrelated to Queen Cecilia. I think I had seen it, and then I was like, Markiplier's in this. What the heck? And and then you talked about him a little bit, and then I realized you were also in his like, choose your own adventure content, and I was just like mind blown. I'll let you tell a story, but how did you meet Mark?
Yeah, it's super funny. I got this audition notice from Vicky Boone, who's a casting director here locally, and it was a hush hush YouTube project. We couldn't get the title or anything, and I went in and auditioned. It was like a 1-day role, which ended up changing my life, but a 1-day role. Like, okay, great, you booked it, and I had to fill out all this NDA paperwork. It was super hush hush, yada yada. He was a heist with Markiplier. Once I book something, I get super lazy with paperwork. Fucking hate paperwork. Like I wish I was successful enough to afford an assistant, but I'm not. Just like, fill that out for me, please. So I end up doing it like the day before I'm shooting because they're like, hey, and then I got the title, A Heist with Markiplier. Heist with Markiplier. Fuck's a Markiplier. So then I Google Markiplier. I don't even know what the fuck this is. And then also I'm old, so like YouTubers, get a real job, get off my lawn. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? You should get a trade, learn plumbing. But so I Googled Markiplier, and I remember where I was looking at the computer, and my middle daughter was to my right. And I remember I was like, oh, yeah, they watch you. And I go, hey, have you heard of Markiplier? And it was the stupidest question I've asked her to date. Like, it was like, hey, have you ever heard of Elvis? You know what I mean? It was just like, it was like, is there a Michael Jackson that does music? Like, it was the dumbest thing. Anyway, so, and like, she just like stopped and she said, why? And I said, I'm fixing to go to work with him in a few hours. And she just stopped doing dishes, and she's like, the fuck did you just say? And I'm like, don't say fuck. That's not appropriate. And to this date, I mean, I've worked with a lot of like, that's my biggest flex with my girls. But so I met him on a heist with Markiplier, just shot for one day. Greatest guy in the world. Then I'm also in space with him too as well.
Yeah.
Sidebar, In Heist Markiplier has over 90 million views combined, and then In Space and Markiplier, the sequel, has over 30 million, just so people get the scale of this thing.
What has been your experience working with him, especially in this executive producing process, like as far as getting to this feature? I mean, I'm curious about how he was on set for like Crazy, like how that worked, Is it more of a partnership, or is he like a consulting?
Is it like what's the collaboration process like?
Yeah.
If there is any.
Yeah, he's the greatest guy in the world. And I say that for a few reasons. But one of the things too was the fact that, I wasn't even pitching him to do Crazy with me. We were at the wrap party for Heist. He asked me kind of what I was up to, and I said, oh, well, I just found out I booked an HEB commercial. Yeah. And blah, blah, blah. And then my wife was like, yeah, and he's looking to direct his first short film. And I'd already had the poster made up for Crazy. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, that's cool. What's it about? And so I told him, and Tim and Amy, they were both there. Crazy. I wasn't pitching him. We were just making small talk. And then he was like, well, when are you going to do it? And I said, well, I'm probably going to crowdfund. Like, I need to get some, I wasn't even thinking in those terms. You know what I mean? And then he was like, well, do you mind if I help you out? Like, we just do it. Mm-hmm. And the conversation was,
no, I don't mind.
Yeah, the conversation was about that long.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like from, hey, so what are you doing? Do you mind if I just do it?
Yeah.
And like vertigo zoom for me. And of course, I've had a few drinks. I'm like, he doesn't drink. Yeah, but I mean, when you think of this daunting task of funding your project, and then Mark was just like, how about this?
Yeah.
For our listeners, Holt is frozen with.
I'm frozen. No, but it was just like, and then what do you say? And how do you act cool after that? Normal. You know what I mean? Like, your project just got greenlit. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the thing is, for me,
snap of a finger.
I needed the emotional. I was not ready to shoot emotionally. You know what I mean? I go, I got to crowdfund, and they could always have the excuse, man, if we got the damn money for that movie, oh my god, but damn it, you know what I mean? But then someone goes, hey, no more excuses. Here's your fucking movie. You go,
Gotta go out and make it now.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, man.
He flew down just to be on set to help me out. He's like, we need, extras or anything. Like, I'm like, at the time he had 36 million followers. I'm like, would you mind saying a line? I got a line for you. What the thing with me that really touched me though was, it's not a Markiplier branded project. Like, it doesn't fit within his brand. There's no benefit to him at all, career-wise or anything else, to fund my short film or my feature. He just did it just because he liked me and believed in me. You know what I mean? And
wow.
With no benefit, even with Ass-Nass, he goes, man, if it doesn't make any money, I don't care. Who the fuck are you? Like, that doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, newsflash.
That's amazing.
The world's best investor.
Yeah, I mean, but it's not a needle in a haystack. It's it's just, there was no there's literally no benefit to him at all. The fact that he took a shot at me, like, dude.
Now that we're kind of back on crazy, I just had one more thing to kind of ask. Like, with that, I mean, what kind of doors did it open for you? Like, was it a very worthwhile experience bringing it to these festivals? What was that experience like for you after the fact of having this, you know, very well-renowned, very well-rewarded kind of film?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. You know, there's a lot of, and I've gone back and forth on this. You know, it didn't get into Sundance or any of the big ones, unfortunately. I can say it developed a pretty good fan base, even with non-Markiplier fans. But more than anything, the networking opportunities that you get with other like-minded filmmakers coming up. Like, I look at you guys. You know, John, I remember you on Cecilia. Like, I was just shorter, younger kid. Like, oh yeah, I'm getting a film. I'm like, oh, that's cute. You know what I mean? Well, I'm having a miserable time here. Why don't you go fuck off? Where's my gun at? You know what I mean? And so, but you guys are all like. But like, you guys are doing things, which is fucking great. Getting kind of a small fan base around, especially too, because let's be honest, like, you know, especially when it comes to funding your next project or that kind of thing, and getting, whether you're meeting other DPs or people who do sound design or people who do music, and then getting a base, like a tribe around what you're doing. You know, that was the hardest thing for me with Crazy, is because my DP is no longer around. And because I was going to have him shoot ass and that, so we were talking about that. And then several people are no longer in the industry, so a lot of like the tribe that I was developing don't exist anymore. And I think in festivals is getting as much attention as humanly possible, trying to create something that can go viral off its popularity. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's, but the more eyes and attention you have on it, for me,
like a cult classic, you know, just
like a cult classic situation.
Like, yeah.
But then also too, it's like, then if you do need to crowdfund, which is what everybody does, you're not doing it cold with like, hey, no one's ever seen this film, but I did this short film.
You have
I sent it to 2 festivals. Yeah, you have active
participation. You know, people.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say this: it's all relationships. You know what I mean? Like, it really, really is. Things happen over time. Some things happen immediately. Like this, the pitch with Mark wasn't even a pitch; it was 6 minutes, and he said, Here's funding for your film, and then let's just go ahead and change the way you're doing things from here on out.
I feel like filmmaking has very much changed, you know, from, you know, over the past, 10, 15 years. We're in like a really kind of weird place right now. What would be your kind of best advice to people trying to get their foot in the industry, or, you know, people who are looking to maybe start pursuing filmmaking?
Well, there's a couple things. One, you guys are in a different era. You know, The Prodigy was shot on film, and it wasn't shot on film to be an arthour situation. It was because digital wasn't there yet. And 93,000 feet of film. It's a lot of 12 frames per second. It's a very expensive action movie to make. But the fact that you can go out, and it's really all about story, really focus on the story. You know, the saying, if it's not on the page, it's not on the stage, screen, but it just doesn't rhyme with page. But, you know, you get the idea. But I think the fact that you can create stuff, going back to Jim Cummings' Thunder Road short, one person, one main character, simply done. And he's got several wonder shorts that are really amazing. I believe, for me, everything is very character driven. If you care about the characters, you'll follow them anywhere. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen Sling Blade. If you haven't, you should check it out. Low budget, Billy Bob Thornton. It's what made him Billy Bob Thornton. He wrote it, directed it, so forth and so on. And Carl, it was when it started out as a short film with Molly Ringwald and Billy Bob Thornton, and then Molly Ringwald wasn't in the feature. I would have watched Carl character in a 7-Eleven for 2 hours. He was just that charming and interesting. He was just, and you just cared about him. And so for me, that is one thing that is, I think, character-driven stories. If you look at any PTA stuff, like you know, one battle after another, and if you don't like it, you can just go ahead and disconnect from this podcast. But but if you look at like Tarantino, if you look at Pulp Fiction, I think I might have said this to you guys in a bar one time. But like, if you look at like Pulp Fiction, okay. Pulp Fiction, the exact same film that was released that we saw and loved, could have just not worked because it was different. The timeline's all fucked up. He's got some washed up actors that hadn't been famous in like a hot minute. Like, anything's out of order. Like, it could have just flopped horribly. If you look at like Blood Simple with Coen Brothers, same exact thing. Very like weird and all kind of off kilter, non-traditional stuff. But because it did work, and the balls that it took to lean into what your vision is and what you see is what made them who they are. It's what made to Tarantino a Tarantino. If that makes sense. Find out what makes you unique, because I feel like the same da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I was talking about dialogue, Lane, like dialogue, having to have a rhythm, competitive, finding what makes you unique, because I feel like so much nowadays is exactly. I watched the show Task, which I've got somebody that I know in Task on HBO. It's a great show. They introduced one character in the first episode, and I go, "Oh, he's going to die. He's going to be the first to die." And sure enough, he did. Yeah. And it's a great show. Love it to death. Tom Pelfrey is great in it and stuff. But and sometimes it just takes like fucking around and finding out. You know what I mean? Like it's but I think it's never been a better time now, Nathan, than that you have the ability to experiment and kind of find out who you are and what you want to do, unless you already know.
I mean, we talked about ass and ass, but I guess just what's next? Is that what you have coming up next? I mean,
what should people be looking out for?
Yeah, what should
I'm going to Canada in January. I've got a show I'm working on there. It's a spec show, which I'm super excited about.
Okay. Cool.
Called BTS. Yeah, it's a 6-episode limited series. I'm playing a character based on me, which is cool.
That's cool.
No, it's a little out there. It's a show within a show. It's kind of behind the scenes of an American production in Canada, shooting that's making this really fucking horrible show. And it's the producers. I did this limited series that you guys can watch on the Roku channel or on Mubi or whatever, called The Pact. It's a post-apocalyptic yada. Anyway, the producers of that are the ones that are producing and directing this. So, but they're basically my characters are based on who they know me as behind the scenes of The Pact, which is a very serious drama. Wow. My character's name is Holt Boggs. So,
That's great.
Yeah, but it's a fun thing. But then there's a production and funding falls out and the show, and then I got to figure out new ways. And then my buddy Louis Mandalore, who's like in the Big Fat Greek Wedding franchise and stuff, and there's been a bunch of other stuff. He's in it too as well. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. So that's what I'm excited about. I'm going up there in January. Queen Cecilia, The Ego Death of Queen Cecilia. Hopefully that gets released soon on the public. Super proud of that little film.
We're super happy that we got to have you here today. It's been great.
Thank you for being on.
Giving us amazing advice and also just have a great conversation with us.
Maybe after you release or in production or in post of SNS, come back on. And
let us know. Yeah, come back on, or even we'll send us something. We can post it on our socials.
No, thanks guys. Appreciate everything. Let me know if you need anything else, and we'll talk again soon.
Yes. Thanks, Holt.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Holt Boggs, guys. Wow. That was a great guest, Carter.
Yeah. That was awesome.
That was
awesome.
It's so cool. It's so cool how he's just he's very experienced, so he just knows.
He's very experienced, dude. 84 IMDb credits. His first credit. I didn't even talk about his. Oh dang! I was gonna talk about his start in the industry as a voice actor, because he was a voice actor in 2002 for video games, and then it went into acting.
Yeah. No, I really do want to work with him. Genuinely. I know. I know because I'm a huge Markiplier fan.
I actually didn't know that.
What?
I didn't understand. During the
I wish that we had asked him about Markiplier.
I don't think you mentioned that.
You're a Markiplier fan?
Yeah,
I think we should have asked him about Markiplier. That feels like a missed opportunity.
I can't believe we missed that.
What a coincidence!
This sucks.
Look, so obviously that network is awesome to see if that's ever a possibility. But I mean, I just also love the idea of working with him, because he was really nice when I first met him, and he was super cool guy during Queen Cecilia screening.
Just pan your camera over, and we'll see your 6-foot Markiplier cutout.
Don't look at my room, okay?
Bye, listeners. See you next week.
Bye.
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 86 Thank you for listening to the 86 That podcast. Make sure you stay up to date by following us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Instagram at 86 That podcast, where you can find episode highlights, exclusive bonus clips, and even chances to ask questions to future guests. We appreciate you tuning in and hope to see you in the next one.
This episode of 86 That is brought to you by Nanami Sushi Bar and Grill. If you're looking for the freshest sushi and authentic Japanese flavors just up the road in Austin, Nanami is a spot for you. From classic rolls to chef specials, it's perfect for a night out, a date night, or just treating yourself. They're family owned, passionate about quality, and we're proud to have them supporting the show. The next time you're craving sushi, head to Nanami Sushi Bar and Grill. You can check out their menu at nanamisushi.com and tell them 86 That sent you. Once again, thank you to Nanami Sushi Bar and Grill for sponsoring this episode.